The WNBA thought they could just slap Sophie Cunningham with a fine and call it a day. But this is where things got wild. That $400 penalty, Sophie flipped it into $1 million statement. Yep, she humiliated the league with one move and exposed the double standards they've been begging fans to ignore. During a heated matchup with the Connecticut Sun, Cunningham took justice into her own hands. In a league where refs have consistently ignored the abuse aimed at Caitlin Clark, Sophie wasn't having it. What followed sent fans into a frenzy and turned her into an Indiana Fever legend overnight. This is the moment that shook the league. One hard foul changed the conversation, exposed the officiating crisis, and made Cunningham a household name. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's LeBron, she's Steph, and maybe even more. She is the WNBA's oxygen tank. Here's where everything flips. In her rookie season alone, Caitlin was targeted with 17% of the league's flagrant fouls. Let that sink in. That's 12 out of 70 across the entire league, aimed at one woman, in just 40 games. And the hits haven't stopped. From D.I. Janai Carrington's eye poke to Kennedy Carter's blindside check, Clark is still getting hammered. The physical punishment hasn't let up in 2025 either, and fans are furious. One brutal example, that infamous 2024 playoff moment when Carrington poked Caitlin in the eye, knocking her out and helping the Sun eliminate the Fever. That one incident might have cost Indiana their shot. Then in June 2025, Clark was sidelined with a minor injury, allegedly from accumulated damage. That absence, it tanked the league. According to ACIC, WNBA viewership dropped 55% without her, down from nearly 10 million to just 4.5 million per game. Attendance followed the same path, with Sportico reporting a 30% dip for non-Clark games. Still think this isn't a big deal? Clark's absence didn't just hurt the Fever, it exposed how fragile the WNBA's success really is. Unlike the NBA, where stars like LeBron and Steph share the spotlight, Caitlin Clark is a spotlight. And here's the part the league doesn't want to admit. The whole rookie class revolution thing, it's PR spin. The numbers don't lie. Of the 21 most watched WNBA games in 2024, Clark's team was in 18 of them. Her showdowns with AJA Wilson and Angel Reese pulled massive ratings. But take Clark out, numbers fall off a cliff. That $200 million media deal, that 170% viewership spike, it's all Caitlin. No other player in any league holds as much influence, and that's why she's now viewed as a WNBA's golden goose. And that's where things get tense. Enter Sophie Cunningham. The 28-year-old guard arrived in Indiana from Phoenix in February 2025 and instantly became Clark's on-court bodyguard. Nicknamed Spicer Sophie for a reason, she made her role clear. Anyone targeting Caitlin was going to feel it. And when she delivered that now iconic hard foul, it wasn't just retaliation. It was a message to the league, to the refs, and to the rest of the W. You mess with Clark, you answer to Sophie. During a chaotic showdown with the Connecticut Sun on June 17, 2025, everything exploded. It started with an old Big Ten rivalry reigniting. J.C.S. Sheldon, who's had bad blood with Caitlin Clark since college, poked her in the eye as a Fever led 88-71 in the final minute. Moments later, Marina Mabrey of the Sun charged in and shoved Clark to the floor. The refs? They called a weak flagrant on Sheldon and technicals on Tina Charles and Clark Maver. Barely a slap on the wrist. It was pathetic, and it pissed people off. But what came next changed everything. Sophie Cunningham had seen enough. Furious at the officials' refusal to protect Clark, she took matters into her own hands. With 46 seconds left, she flattened Sheldon with a hard foul and yanked Mabrey down to the floor. That play ignited an all-out brawl, drawing in Lindsay Allen and sparking a bench-clearing scuffle. The WNBA slapped Cunningham with a $400 fine for 2 flagrant fouls, plus an unreported extra penalty. But the fine wasn't the story. What she said after the game was, "This has been building for years," she told reporters. "They are not protecting the face of this league. So I will." Coach Stephanie White backed her enforcer without hesitation, blasting the refs for losing control. And fans? They were all in. The internet exploded. X lit up with posts calling Cunningham a hero, the new sheriff in town. Clips went viral with captions like, "Try Caitlin again, you'll meet Sophie." This wasn't just a scuffle. It was a message, a warning shot to the entire league. If refs won't protect Caitlin Clark, then Sophie Cunningham will, and she won't ask twice. What really made this moment iconic was who Sophie is. Not just a tough player, not just a shooter, but a black belt in Taekwondo. Since age 6, she's always been built for this role. This wasn't some PR stunt. This was muscle memory. A 28-year-old veteran who joined the Fever from Phoenix and immediately stepped into protector mode. One play turned her from Spicy Sophie to a full-blown legend. And she wasn't done. This was just the beginning of something much, much bigger. This is where things get wild. The officiating problem isn't just frustrating, it's exposing the WNBA's deepest cracks. Despite playing fewer minutes than vets like AJ Wilson or Brianna Stewart, Caitlin Clark led the league in flagrant fouls taken, 12 in 2024 alone. That's not normal. According to a Washington Post analysis, Clark absorbs hard contact nearly every game, yet refs consistently swallow the whistle. The W has quietly become one of the most physical leagues in sports, and not in a good way. Becky Hammond, coach of the Aces, didn't mince words. People are sick of getting hit. It's too much grabbing, bumping, and fouling going uncalled. It's not just a pattern, it's a crisis. And yet, what makes this even worse is the culture behind the silence. The WNBA's hesitance to protect Clark goes beyond referees. It's embedded in the system. Veterans like Jonquil Jones and Alyssa Thomas have landed hard, even dangerous fouls on Clark. Kennedy Carter's infamous body check in 2024 was barely punished.
Oh my God, Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long.
No suspension, just a flagrant upgrade after review. The league is sending a clear message: rookie or not, you're on your own. The narrative that Clark is being hunted on the court with no league support is no longer a theory, it's fact. And when Sun coach Rich Mazane called Sophie Cunningham's retaliation rude and reckless, fans weren't buying it. The real disrespect? Letting your most marketable star get mauled with no consequences. And here's the most jaw-dropping part. The numbers make it undeniable. In 2024, Caitlin Clark's games averaged 9.9 million viewers. That's a 170% surge from the league average. Fever home games sold out 90% of the time. League-wide ticket sales up 30%. But when Clark sat out in June 2025, the WNBA tanked. Ratings dropped 55%. Attendance cratered for non-Fever games. No other rookie or veteran has ever had this kind of pull. One Viral X post said it best: without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would be nothing. Harsh, maybe, but when she's gone, the league feels it, and it's only getting more obvious. Because Caitlin Clark is not just a player, she's an economy. Her Nike deal alone is worth $28 million. She earns $11 million in endorsements. Meanwhile, her WNBA salary, a laughable $76,535. Let that sink in. She's carrying a league that lost $40 million last year, its most successful financial season ever, and she's making peanuts from the league itself. She's not just drawing fans. She's propping up media deals, sponsorships, and ticket sales. But if the WNBA keeps neglecting her safety, she and her millions of fans might start pulling back. And that's when the real collapse begins. But here's the wild twist. While the WNBA fined Sophie Cunningham just $400, her personal brand exploded. In just 48 hours after the infamous Sun game, her Instagram gained 350,000 new followers. Her TikTok, it went from 400K to 1.2 million. Her jersey, sold out across every Fever outlet, with restocks delayed until July 8, 2025. STN Digital estimates that gaining 1 million followers across platforms would cost the company over $1 million in marketing spend. Sophie did it with one viral moment and a hard foul. Her old $10K per post sponsored content is now estimated to fetch $20,000. And folks, we're still just getting started. Cunningham's rise mirrors that of Kate Martin, who outsold AJ Wilson in jersey sales back in 2024. Caitlin Clark's teammates have always benefited from her spotlight, despite their lower stats. But Cunningham's new enforcer status took it to another level. One viral X post racked up 141,000 likes and 1.2 million views, branding her a national treasure. She's now expected to expand deals with Adidas and Quest Nutrition, potentially earning millions off the court. But here's a twist. Despite the WNBA's $40 million loss in 2024, Cunningham is cashing in on Clark's fame more effectively than the league itself. That's when something unexpected happened. A petition was launched, 388 signatures demanding Sophie Cunningham's removal from the WNBA over unsportsmanlike conduct. But the backlash only boosted her brand. Fans rallied behind her defense of Clark, calling her a hero. One fan joked she sold out her jeggings and went viral lip-syncing Selena Gomez's Hands to Myself. The WNBA's own TikTok tribute to her foul drew 1.2 million views, with fitness influencer Joey Swole calling her a legend. The outcome? Exactly the opposite of what critics expected. Sophie became a fan favorite, turning a $400 fine into a $1 million moment. But what happens next is where it gets darker. The WNBA is standing at a dangerous intersection, facing both financial instability and a credibility crisis over officiating. Clark absorbed 17% of the league's flagrant fouls in 2024 and continues to be a target in 2025, with no real protection from officials. The league cannot afford to alienate its star and her supporters while trying to survive a $40 million deficit. And now, Cunningham has shifted the narrative. Her willingness to go rogue sent a clear message to the league. If you won't protect our star, I will. That statement has fans cheering and the league squirming. And trust me, you haven't seen the full picture yet. As of June 2025, the Fever sit at 8-7, heavily reliant on Caitlin Clark's 21.3 points and 8.7 assists per game. Sophie Cunningham's protection allows Clark to stay focused on what she does best, carry the franchise. With Sophie's merch outselling even Wilson's and her follower count skyrocketing, fans have made their loyalty clear. The irony? While the league penalized her, she's laughing to the bank. Sophie turned a controversial moment into a marketing masterclass, exposing the WNBA's failure to protect its own gold mine. And what happened next sealed the deal. The truth is undeniable. Sophie Cunningham's $400 fine was the best investment in WNBA history. She didn't just defend Clark. She became the league's unexpected enforcer, capitalizing on chaos and converting backlash into brand power. Clark remains a WS most valuable asset, outshining even LeBron or Curry when it comes to percentage impact, driving 55% of viewership and 30% of ticket sales. That's not influence, that's ownership. And here's the craziest part. The league tried to bury Cunningham, but now she and Clark are rewriting the rules from the inside. The WNBA didn't make her a star. Their silence did. Now the question is, who's really in control? The soft wrist slap officials gave after that brutal foul on Caitlin Clark wasn't just weak. It was a turning point. By the time Sophie Cunningham took action, the game had already spiraled out of control. And suddenly, that $400 fine was a line in the sand. Will players keep eating the fines to get justice? Or will the WNBA finally change? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want every explosive update on the league's future, like, share, and subscribe. Because this story, it's far from over.